Before we start this podcast, I just want to talk about Gamatica, the gaming social network. Whether you are a regular gamer, a streamer, even a podcaster, go ahead and join. It is free. It is an amazing social network. It is growing rapidly. It's getting better all the time. They are not paying us to do this. This is just something that I enjoy using. So if you are a gamer, go ahead and sign up. Cue the intro. Gaming is about escaping into another world. You don't control the character. You are the character.
Whether I'm hunting fearsome monsters or growing the best crops, gaming is how I like to relax.
I like gaming because I can go you know?
They help me escape into a world of pure imagination. Video games. What more could you ask for? Endless possibilities.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Off Hunting Podcast. It's your boy JoJo.
It's your boy DiggsGaming.
KB Hunting.
And
Sir
welcome back.
Meliodas will join us soon.
Meliodas was just running a little bit behind. Sorry for the late post, man. We just had to figure we had a scheduling malfunction, but now we back at it, and we back at it strong. And here's why: because for all y'all horror game fans out there, especially y'all that like Dead Space, we're finally getting that remake we all wanted, baby. Visceral Gaming might have died, but the legacy of Dead Space lives on. Isaac Clarke is coming back. I am deeply excited about this. Me and my buddy were both excited about this. We're huge Dead Space fans. He's the one that actually got me into Dead Space like years after its release, and it's gonna be a blast. I'm gonna have a blast. It looks beautiful. It looks so beautiful. I just hope they don't change anything to the story because the first two games were perfect. Actually, all three games were perfect, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Space, the fans have been wanting for a new Dead Space game, and this is perfect because now the first game being remade, and this is just going to show that there is still a lot of life left in Dead Space. EA does this right. Well, there's still a chance they could screw this up, but they do this right.
Don't get me wrong. We still want, all of us Dead Space fans still want Dead Space 4. We'll take a remake because, and I only say that because Visceral Games got discontinued by EA. So, of course, like, we can't get the originals. But if this is successful, which I have all hopes that it will be, it means that we can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 if they want to even go that far. Because, honestly, Dead Space could be the new Resident Evil. It really could. Mm-hmm. It was competing alongside Resident Evil when it was out. And it's going to keep on doing so. Honestly, it has the utmost potential, especially with people like kind of like going, like multiplayer is still good. If they add a co-op campaign, that would be even better. But all time will tell. I would personally like to see, from what I would like to see, I would like to see a co-op campaign. I would like to see a potential like multiplayer survival mode, and I would like to see like a complete revamp of the graphics, which we're probably going to get for the actual game itself. That would make the remaster that much better.
Yeah. This game is successful. We are going to see more Dead Space games. So EA, do not screw this up. Don't not screw this up. EA. KB, you got anything to add?
I'm not huge into horror games, so I really don't.
Well, speaking of horror games, we have a new update on Abandon, the Blue Box Studio game that has been the talk of a lot of gamers lately. And the new twist is that there was a comment made on Twitter from a fan that asked, are we going to start to see more of Abandon? Because that is an intriguing game right now. That is probably the most intriguing game right now. And the former head of PlayStation that now handles the indie side of everything, sorry if I butcher this, Shahid Yuseta, responded with a thinking emoji, and that's just adding more fuel to the fire on this. KB, you and I have discussed this at length. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are both in agreement that this is probably bigger than what we think.
Definitely. Especially now that he's getting on it, yeah. I'm like, okay. So it's definitely
to be
something.
fair, it is his job to handle the indie side of it, but again, it's just crazy because we keep seeing more and more and more about this, and And the more we see, the more we keep thinking it's got to be something. And again, I'm not saying it's from a certain person. I'm not saying it's a certain game. I'm just saying this game just seems bigger than what we think. As soon as JoJo gets his earphones ready to go, we're going to get his opinion on this, because I definitely want to get his opinion. Sir Meliodas joins. We might get his opinion on this too, if he actually looked it up like I told him to. So, JoJo, what do you think of Abandoned? Do you think this is bigger than just a small game done by a small studio?
Looks a lot like Silent Hill, not gonna lie to you.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people keep saying, and they keep thinking that Hideo Kojima is behind it, and this does sound like something he would do. He's done this twice before, and it could be. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying
we're saying it's up his alley.
It definitely is. And that's the whole thing about this. It's just so crazy. So many twists and turns. I mean, the whole thing with Jeff Keighley being a part of this, the fact that it's the same initials from the supposed head of the studio, the font being the same as the PS5 logo. It's just crazy. Or the PlayStation Studios logo, my bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. It really is. It really is. Moving on, Netflix has decided to dip its toe into the video game market. Yeah, Netflix has. They are going to start having video games on the streaming service. Right now, they're going to start with mobile stuff, but if it's successful, they could move on to other things. And there's been rumors going around that PlayStation may be involved in this somehow. Those have been unconfirmed. Those have not been confirmed, but there are rumors going on about that. Personally, I think that's a little bit of hot air, but I could be wrong. KB, you and I talked about this before. What do you think of?
Honestly, market's kind of oversaturated with streaming platforms right now. You don't really need Netflix to jump in on it. So I think this is going to be a flop.
Yeah, the problem is we've seen this before with Google Stadia, with Amazon Luna, and I mean, Google Stadia was a disaster. I mean, not just a disaster. I mean, it just fell off the edge of a cliff right away.
Yeah.
And Luna, I have not heard too much about Luna, I'll be honest. So
the only streaming platform that I've heard, well, two really, is Twitch, because of course, and YouTube. Yeah. And that's about it.
Yeah, JoJo, what do you think of this? What do you think of Netflix getting in on this?
It's hit or miss, honestly. Hit or miss. And the reason I say that is because right now, in my opinion, the American market that Netflix is in, the best thing they got running for them is 7 Deadly Sins. So if we get something like that, I'd be okay with that. I mean, otherwise, I really don't think they really have much going for them. They're going to have to take a lot of risks. But they have the creativity behind them to produce good product. So I feel like they have a good shot, but they really just gotta come out. They gotta hit the gate hard, and they gotta come out running. They can't pull anything weak in there.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a little weird because we've seen stuff like this before, and the problem is people just don't have a consistent network connection, and that's the problem. If you don't have consistent Wi-Fi, you're not gonna have a good stream, and people just don't have that right now. It may be the future, but we're still at the very least 5 years away from it, and maybe even more. Actually, most likely even more, maybe at least 10. So right now, if it works, okay, but I would not be surprised if this just doesn't work. JoJo, I know you want to talk about the new Battlefield game. Go for it.
Absolutely. Battlefield 2042 is going to kick Call of Duty's major ass. And I mean that. I mean that. And here's why I say that. Because Battlefield's been a dying franchise. It's not uncommon to say. And with what Battlefield is doing, they're kicking them right to the curb. Like 2042 will not have a campaign. It won't. And honestly, I don't blame them after the last 2 failed attempts of having campaigns in Battlefield games. But the multiplayer and the graphics and what goes on into the multiplayer, like the mass storms and everything, it's going to be great. But what's really going to be interesting is the Battlefield portal. I'm talking custom game lobbies, like mass modes, defibrillators versus syringes. It's gonna be a cluster, and I can't wait. I hope they do prop hunt. If they add prop hunt, I would be blown away. But we got to see where it goes.
We've seen this happen before with games like the first Star Wars Battlefront, the first of the reboot series, and that was criticized. I remember that got criticized a little bit because there was nothing doing the game. So we have seen this happen before to mixed results. We'll see if it works, but we have to wait and see. We really do. KB, anything to add?
Not into first-person shooters or just shooting games in general, so no.
Okay, here's something that I think we all could have opinions on. Cris Tales, a game that we talked about as one of the most anticipated games, has come out, and it's interesting. The scores are pretty interesting. The critic scores on Metacritic, they are in the mid to high 70s. The lowest, I think, was a 73. Highest was a 77. But the user scores are a whole lot better. They range from an 8.4 to an 8.6, which is one of the better games of the year, maybe one of the best games of the year. So that's a tale of two scores right there. And personally, I would go with the user scores over the critic scores just because of what kind of game this is. This is an independent game. This is more of a niche title, I would think. So I would probably go with the user on this one.
I would tend to lean towards user scores in general because, these people are playing the game for fun. They spent their own money on it because they wanted to. Critics usually get keys to the game. They usually don't, in general, pay for it. And in general, they have to get, they have to pump out all of these scores very quickly for all the new games that come out. So they don't have the time to really do deep dives into lots of these games. So they probably haven't experienced or gotten to the best part of the games. Just in general.
That's a really good thought to have. And full disclosure, none of us took a look at the gameplay on this, and we should have. We're sorry about that, but some of us, we really were busy. I was busy. I was writing a story for Sports Fans at the time, and I didn't have any time. JoJo, what do you think of all this with the Metacritic scores?
I try not to look at it in the first place because it I treat it like the gaming awards. I will say that they're spot on a couple things.
Sir Meliodas has just joined us. We are talking about Cris Tales and the Metacritic scores for it. The critic scores are a little bit lower than the user scores, and KB and I are in agreement that the user scores should be looked at more. What do you think about it, Sir Meliodas? Or JoJo, finish up what you were saying, and then I'll go to Sir Meliodas. My bad.
Hang on, let me pull them back up real quick. They were spot on a couple things, like Hitman 3. They're pretty spot on about that.
Hold on, Joey. Wait. It's your boy, Sir Meliodas.
Yes, sir. I missed you, buddy. Now, Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 1 and 2, that was a nostalgia trip for everyone that played it. They were spot on about that. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, they were spot on with that. Final Fantasy 7, the remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, spot on with that.
Much awaited.
What were you guys talking about?
We're talking about the
Cris Tales. It was a game that we talked about during the most anticipated games. I think it was number 5 on the list. Came out, and like I mentioned, the critic scores were a little lower than the user scores, and we're just talking about what that means.
Personally, I wasn't a big fan of Cris Tales, and that's just me personally. I can't really get behind it, man. I don't know what you want me to say. You want to fight about it? But anyways,
like I mentioned, it's a niche game. It's going to be, some people are going to like it, some people are not. But if you like games like that, I would just pay attention to the user scores on that, especially with niche games like this.
Very true.
Yeah. Sir Meliodas, what do you think before we move on?
What?
All right. Never mind. He's not paying attention.
No, I'm going to say I wasn't even briefed. What's going on?
We briefed you twice already. Okay, one more time, and you better be listening this time. All right. Cris Tales came out.
What is Cris Tales?
The Metacritic scores for the critics side were in the mid to high 70s, lowest being a 73, highest being a 77. But the user scores were in between 8.4 to 8.6, which is one of the better games, maybe one of the best games of the year. And we were talking about what that means. So why don't you give your quick opinion, and then we're going to talk about something else.
I'm going to tell you what that means.
Don't look at review scores. Tell you why.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Go for it.
If you play a game that everybody hates, but you love it, you say, "But dude, you love that game? It has a 2 on Metacritic." So, if you like the game, play the game.
That's been the whole thing with Madden. I mean, everybody
Definitely.
that's not a football fan hates that game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Even football fans hate that game. I mean, I have
I
not played
despise Madden. I hate
Yeah,
Madden.
and
Now, if
JoJo
it's a terrible and broken game, an unfinished game, then yes. But if it's a game that's finished and it's playable and you can get through point A to point B without any bugs and glitches, play the game if you like it. Don't worry about critics.
All right, so JoJo and I were talking about this before the show, and we wanted to get your guys' opinion. What do you think has been the game of the year so far in the year 2021? I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And the reason I'm saying this is because this is the game that showed just what next gen is all about. This was the first game that really showed everything that the PlayStation 5 could do. I mean, Insomniac pushed the console to its absolute limit. I think the story was probably the best in the series. I think this was Insomniac's best game ever. And really just everything that Insomniac did with this game, it was amazing. I absolutely love it. If you have a PlayStation 5 or plan on getting a PlayStation 5, get this game. This is going to show you just what next gen is all about.
And if you're not a Sony fanboy, I totally recommend looking into Doki Doki Literature. No, it's like a play. No, the game that I think had like the best shot. Honestly, it's a two-way tie for me. The first half goes to Resident Evil Village because they went full throttle on that. And honestly, the second one for me would probably be Mass Effect Legendary Edition, only because they re-upped the graphics. If not Mass Effect, then I would go with what's the game called? Freaking Hitman 3, because Hitman games they just have they're meme worthy, man. Otherwise, I'd say MLB The Show 21 because they finally fixed everything that was bad about that game and made it good, made it playable, and made it fun. And the soundtrack is fire. The soundtrack goes a long way for me with any video game. So, I mean, I have my fun with it. They changed it up this year too. So they made it interesting. They didn't make it like predictable like every other year. Make you play the best of both. Like, let's talk about Knockout City for a second. Can we just talk about how they finally made dodgeball fun for everyone? Like, honestly, let's talk about it for a second. The new Pokemon Snap was overhyped, in my opinion. Let's just go through the list while we're at it.
What'd you say?
Boo.
Pokemon, the new Pokemon Snap is overhyped. I'm sorry. I'm an old 64 Pokemon
KB,
Snap
stop
guy.
that.
I'm an old. Hey, look, she's entitled.
People can't see.
Y'all. She's entitled to her opinion, but personally, I'm just an old school Nintendo 64 Pokemon Snap guy.
KB, knock it off with that. Knock it off with that. You don't want to know what she's doing, guys. You do not want to know what she's doing.
I'll fight you, Joey. I haven't even
You're
played
not
the game
fighting.
yet. My girlfriend has
fighting
it,
her friends
and it's
on this
adorable.
show. Okay.
I want all the sauce.
Okay. KB, what do you think
Okay.
has been the game of the year so far?
Y'all already know. Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah,
I thought
we
you
were
were going to
thinking
say
you were
Final
gonna say that.
Fantasy. I honestly
I
thought
mean, Final Fantasy VII, close second place.
That came out in 2020, guys.
Oh, yeah, it came out in 2020. Never mind.
Yeah, guys, we're talking 2021 games. Come
2021.
on.
Let's talk
Monster
about the
Hunter
real.
Rise.
Let's talk about the
Definitely.
real game of the year. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
That was 2020. What
But
we
Monster
doing?
Hunter Rise, for
You guys
sure.
are gonna hate me, but I haven't played anything that I consider game of the year yet. So
You played the new season of Fortnite. That counts.
Didn't you play? Oh no, wait, you did not play Resident Evil Village. Yeah, you did not.
No. I haven't played. I mean, Assassin's Creed.
Valhalla.
No, that came out 2020, didn't it?
That came
Yeah.
out, last year.
Yeah. So even if I haven't played anything that I would consider game of the year.
Have
Yeah.
you seen anything that you would consider?
I'm waiting for Dying Light 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
I
waiting
will
on
consider
Far
it
Cry
once
6.
I play it.
Oh,
I will
I'm also
consider that
waiting
game of
on
the year.
Kenna. I'm waiting on Kenna because that's coming out in about a month. Actually, exactly a month, I think.
Mm.
So I'm waiting on Kenna. KB, what do you? I can probably guess what you're waiting on.
Another Monster Hunter.
The next
Yeah.
Monster Hunter free DLC. I mean the Pokemon games.
Yeah, that's what I was
Legends
thinking.
Legends of Arceus. Looking forward to that one. I'm not huge on like the Diamond and Pearl. Like I never played it in the original, and I haven't like I've heard that that's the worst generation. Yeah, Gen 3 is better.
Hey,
Honestly,
hey,
I
guys,
wouldn't even call that the worst
guys.
generation though. Honestly, it was the one after Diamond and Pearl that was honestly, in my opinion, the worst one.
The gold, silver.
No,
that
that's
was a
black and
remake.
white.
No,
Oh,
I'm
black and
talking
white.
about Black and White. Honestly,
Oh.
Black
Gold and
White.
silver may be the best games in the franchise. That's what
That's
a lot
what I
of people
thought
say.
too. I love
You
watching
wanna know
your
what's better?
Pokemon like
You wanna
coming
know what's
behind
better?
you.
You guys want to know what's better?
Which one?
What?
Digimon.
Yes,
Case
yes, I
closed.
can
Case
agree with
closed.
that. Digimon Battle Adventures 4 for the GameCube was like one of my favorite games. Period.
Okay.
Digimon Adventures 4 was like the best because I went from Agumon to whoever, like his evolution. It was by far my favorite part of that game.
Well,
Yes.
actually, speaking of that, that's going to bring us into today's topic, which is
Anime and your best anime and superheroes, anime heroes and superheroes.
well,
Dun, dun,
iconic.
dun.
Iconic.
Totally iconic. Let's start it off with Sir Meliodas.
Oh, you want an iconic anime superhero?
Oh, absolutely.
Wait. Listen. Wait. Vegito.
Yes.
They can't see it, but Vegito.
Gogeta's better in my opinion, but hey.
What?
It's the fit, man.
What?
Guys, why? Why do we keep doing this?
Wait. You talking about this hand me down right here?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
No, Vegito is cool. Vegito is cool. He's not my go-to though.
Vegito's swag is better, bro. His lingo, his fighting style, his
facial
earrings.
expressions.
Yes, it's
What about a hero, man? Give us a hero. And
a hero.
Yeah, I need a hero.
Incredible Hulk.
Cue the music.
Incredible Hulk, I will say.
Fine.
Yeah,
Iconic.
Hulk is iconic.
Hawk is totally iconic. For me, if we're talking iconic anime, because I never just do it to just one. I always have a top three. For me, it is Jotaro Kujo from JoJo Bizarre Adventure. The man's iconic.
KB.
You did. I know why she's saying it, and I'm not gonna go into it. But Jotaro is iconic. It's just the swagger he walks around with. The fit is iced out. He's overall like he's just a badass, man. You gotta love him. You can't hate him. He's a jerk to everyone, but you can't hate him because it's just his nature. He puts the bad guy routine up. The second one would be Ichiro, not Ichiro. 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 Yeah. Did I say Ichiro?
I think you put an R on it.
Yeah.
Ichigo.
Ichigo Kurosaki.
Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach. That's my man.
Bankai.
Right,
Yeah.
Bankai. Dude, I grew up watching Bleach, so like it's hard to like talk about anime when I can't talk about Bleach. It makes it hard for me.
Goku Solo's Bleach.
And then one of my personal favorites, Kakashi.
Definitely a
Kakashi Sensei from or Jiraiya. I'll either one. Gray hair, swagger. You can't touch this MC Hammer. Like they're just awesome. Unless you want to talk about Itachi.
Itachi. Yeah. I mean,
my man's right.
Superhero, super villain.
You might have killed one man, but I killed a whole village.
Fact. Yeah.
Oh man, I love Naruto. Naruto is like one of the greatest animes. It might be inspired by Dragon Ball Z because I knew Meliodas was going to bring that up eventually if I ever went into it. But it's worth it. It's good. It's similar, but it's different. Like got the underdog. He doesn't know his parents. Finally meets his parents.
When they're superheroes? They're all orphans.
Monkey beat Luffy. He knew his mom. He just had a father figure. One Piece, the longest running anime of all time, ladies and gentlemen. But honestly, if you want to talk about real iconic anime characters, how about Spike from Cowboy Bebop?
Oh yeah,
Cowboy
I
Bebop.
never really watched it.
Spike from Cowboy Bebop or Sid Vicious. One of the most iconic characters in anime history. One of the most iconic villains, Dio Brando.
Gross.
They're right to the bank. I'll send you guys all a TikTok that involves Dio Brando. It's
No.
No, let me stop. Superheroes.
Gross.
Superheroes, I got a top 3. Most iconic, Ghost Rider, first one.
Definitely.
Ghost Rider, headshot. And name one more person that comes from the gates of hell, balling out that isn't Spawn.
I was about to say Spawn. Etrigan the Demon.
Dude, if he didn't rhyme, I would take him seriously. That's just me. I love Etrigan though. Etrigan's my man.
He came from like the 14th century, I think. He had the rhyme.
Yeah, he got summoned by
something like
Merlin.
that.
He got summoned by Merlin and enchanted a night.
Yeah.
Second, the Flash.
Which one, Barry or Wally?
Barry. Personally, I go with Barry. Well, because you really have 3. You got Jay Garrick, you got Barry Allen, and then Wally West. Personally, I'm gonna go with Barry Allen, the Silver Streak. I'm gonna go with Barry Allen over Jay Garrick. But then my third, probably go with honestly Black Panther. Got to have to, man.
Did you say Black
I
Panther?
mean, something you got to remember about Black Panther. He was the first black superhero. First one ever. People have to realize that was the first black superhero ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many people know that to this day. I don't know
I
how
thought
many
it was
people know that
Blade.
right now.
Blade was the first
in the
cinematic
Marvel
one.
verse?
Blade. No, we're just talking about in comics in general. Black Panther, I think, was the first one.
Yeah.
In the cinematic universes, Blade was the first one to have commercial blockbuster success.
Yeah.
Literally saved Marvel from bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
All-star cast.
Think about if Blade had bombed. We do not get the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I don't know if we get the X-Men
Blade 3
series,
kind
to
of
be
did,
honest.
but that wasn't Wesley Snipes' fault. That was poor script writing and Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm not trying to bite on Ryan Reynolds because he's a great actor. He's the perfect Deadpool.
But he needs to break that. I'm not going to go into Ryan Reynolds because we're talking about other stuff, but that's another topic for another.
Yeah, agreed. KB, what about you? Who's your favorite, most iconic anime characters and superheroes?
Gotta go with Eraserhead
Yes.
for Boku no Hero.
Yes.
My boy.
In American, that's My Hero Academia for everyone who doesn't know.
Yeah. Facts.
Oh, I never
I love
watched that.
the fan, like, I saw it on TikTok. Someone was like, you have one for all, you have all for one. Eraserhead's quirk should be none for y'all. It should have been.
It's so true. It's so true.
So true.
Eraserhead just has a swagger to him. He hates looking fancy. He just wants to be in his rags.
I love my hobo man, okay?
Or he's like origami.
You know what the sad part is? I have no idea what some of these you're talking about because I just have not watched a lot of anime. It's sad.
Catch up, man.
I know I gotta.
You gotta. Who else? I mean, from Moribito and the Guardian Spirit, Balsa. Gotta love my girl. Badass. Spears woman. Bodyguard. Amazing. We stand a queen over here, you know? I mean, for comics, Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Wonder Woman
like that, guys.
turned
Gal Gadot?
80 this year. The comics turned 80 this year. Think about
Nice.
that.
You gotta love Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just can't not love Wonder Woman.
Gotta love some strong females.
The thing that gets me pissed off with Wonder Woman is that she's supposed to be tall. She's supposed to be taller than everyone in the Justice League because she's an Amazonian. You know they're
Yeah.
pretty
She's
tall.
like 6'2".
Yeah,
What's
I know,
your point?
but they usually draw her like smaller than all the guys.
for
even
the
though,
for the
like,
sex appeal. Like, I don't
Oh,
know shit about that.
Okay. Now I get what you mean. by
hot
that.
women of all
Hot
shapes. and
women
sizes.
sales,
Don't be a
basically.
coward. Make her
Yeah.
6'4", is what I'm saying. Give her thighs that could crush me.
Like Chun-Li.
Yes, facts.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. For iconic anime characters, I got one. Inuyasha.
Yes.
Ooh.
Inuyasha. Inuyasha was really the first anime I watched that was not
Same.
Pokemon or Digimon. But
Same.
I mean, I just love Inuyasha as a character. I really do. I've been binging Inuyasha lately, and I really like Inuyasha. It's I don't know how many times I can say it, but
Every
just
time
really
I think of Inuyasha,
he's a half demon,
I think
half
of Robot
human.
Chicken.
What'd you say?
Every time I think of Inuyasha, I think of Robot Chicken, like the skit where the dad just keeps on watching Inuyasha until like becomes like a fakes being a super fan, just to tick off his daughter, and then when she gets done, just puts on his sports every time.
Yeah, he's half demon, half human. He's a guy that, so far where I'm at right now, he's evolved as a character.
He's Inuyasha.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a badass sword. I mean, what more could you like? As for superheroes, it's a little tough when I think about it, because there are the obvious ones, Superman, Batman. You mentioned Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for DC, I think I would go with Green Lantern.
I was about to say Green Lantern is completely underrated.
Oh,
Green Lantern
yeah,
is terribly underrated.
that's all thanks to Ryan Reynolds.
No, because in the comic he used to be able to construct a kryptonite, but they said I don't know why they stopped him from doing that. He can construct kryptonite, and it was like the construct, because it's the willpower of them. The more they believe in it, the stronger the construct will be. So he believed that it was actual kryptonite. So Superman was getting weak to it. He was beating Superman. It was like, no, we don't want him to have that power over Superman. So they took it away from him, which
That's
is
stupid.
it's corny. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, and one thing I do like about Green Lantern is his power is literally only limited by his own imagination. And that's just really cool to have as a power, because it's basically you create whatever you want. You are only limited by your own mind, and you gotta love stuff like that. And as for the Marvel side, I gotta go Ant-Man and Wasp. I gotta
Ant-Man
and Wasp.
Imagine if Ant-Man got bit by a radioactive ant like Spider-Man did. Technically, he would be stronger than Spider-Man, because ants can lift up to what, 10 times
their weight.
Yeah, so he'd be strong as hell, because he's a human. So that'd be what, 20 times his weight. I don't know how to math.
Ant-Man does, but Ant-Man has something that Spider-Man doesn't. He has the element of surprise.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't see him coming. Yeah, and whether it's Hank Pym or Scott Lang, like you can't see him.
Yeah.
Unless he goes gigantic.
And then it doesn't matter because you're
dead.
crushed under his boot.
What are you talking about?
But also what's really cool about Ant-Man is the fact that he does not lose any of his strength. I mean, he still has the strength of a grown man when he shrinks down. So you gotta imagine, you see this little man coming at you and you think, oh, he's not going to do anything. And then all of a sudden you're getting punched across the face and it's like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
But
it's all over Bananakin. I have the
and Wasp. One thing I really like about Wasp is the fact that she has those stainers, and I mean, it just fits in with a Wasp. I really do like, I like that. I really do.
Hurts like a son of a.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we talked about Spider-Man. None of us mentioned him as an iconic, and he is.
Yeah, we all know Spider-Man.
Everyone knows Spider-Man.
Yeah, everyone knows Spider-Man. And one thing about Spider-Man was he was really the first one that could show that a teenager could be a hero all on his own, that he did not have to be a sidekick.
Yeah,
really think about that.
He also showed he could be a bigger jerk than everyone.
That's true.
In the early comics, he was the biggest jerk. Till Uncle Ben. Great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben.
Okay, we talked about anime characters. Let's talk about iconic anime in general. I mean, just iconic anime series.
Iconic anime series.
Yeah, Naruto's one. I mean, JoJo mentioned One Piece.
Conan, aka Case Closed.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good one. Here's a good question. Should we mention Pokemon in this? Do we consider that anime, or do we consider that just a regular old cartoon? I
thought Pokemon was anime, right? Or is it?
Technically it is, but there are some people that don't consider it a true anime.
Why not?
I don't know.
In the beginning, it was it felt more like a cartoon, but it's very much become more anime-esque throughout the years.
Especially during the later series in Pokemon.
Hmm.
But I mean, Pokemon, that might have been kids' first introduction to anime during the 90s and the 2000s, even today.
Yeah. Because a lot of parents want their kids, like, they started with it, so now they want their kids to start with it.
Yeah. And
Gundam is also iconic.
which one?
Gundam.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about
I think another one. I mean, I think Digimon is another one that's iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, again, first introduction was Digimon, and another one, Yu-Gi-Oh. First introduction to anime, those right there.
Sailor Moon, too, for girls.
Yeah. Well, is Sailor Moon really for kids, or is that for an older audience? I never understood that because I never watched it.
I'd say Sailor Moon's good for, like, not like young children, but for like 9, 10, 11 years old. Sure.
Yeah. One of the
That's when
problems
I started watching it anyway.
Yeah. One of the problems that came from Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Even, and this is not from the Japanese audio, this is from the English dub. I mean, they changed a lot from that. I mean, there were scenes that were cut out. There was an entire episode that was cut from Pokemon because of the use of a gun.
Yeah.
And then Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, they changed a lot of dialogue was changed in Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, a lot.
There's been a lot of localization issues just in general.
Wasn't the one Pokemon episode that caused what was
Seizures?
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They banned that everywhere. Like
Literally everywhere. They showed it once and then never showed it again. That's what, and Polygon, that was the only time Polygon was ever shown, and it had not been shown.
Porygon.
Thank you. Porygon. Oh God.
I think I seen that episode though. I remember seeing something of that episode.
Yeah, that's it. But
You can
that's
find
just
it
crazy
online.
how that went. It's
No,
just
I
crazy.
remember seeing it on the TV though, which is crazy. I didn't pay attention to it though.
I think they redid that scene so they could re-air it, but the original's still online.
Yeah, well, that never got an English dub. Neither did that other one that I talked about. There have been episodes that have been cut out of Pokemon because of things like that. I mean, there was one from Sun and Moon that got cut out because of very sensitive topic, but because main character Ash went to study these Pokemon. He dressed up as them, and some people felt it was blackface.
Oh, yeah.
So it never got aired in America.
That
it
makes
would be
sense.
considered as being furry.
I mean, it's also why Jinx got its redesign, because the
Yeah.
original one, it was a black face instead, and nowadays it's a purple face. And
You know who didn't get a redesign? Because it wasn't a redesign? Mr. Popo.
Goku.
yeah,
Rule number 3, never talk about Mr. Popo's training. Never talk about Popo's training. Oh man, I love Mr. Popo. Mr.
Yeah.
Popo in the bridge was so fun. Actually, that's actually a great subtopic to talk about. If anyone here watches any like redub animes, and you don't have to answer if you don't watch them, but like, what's your personal favorite? Because for me, it's a two-way tie between Dragon Ball Z Abridged from Team 4-Star and another project they do, which was from Helsing with Alucard.
can we count movies or just series in general?
Like just like overdub, not like a redub, but overdub.
50% off from Octopimp from the Anime Free. I highly recommend that one.
Okay,
It's
I don't think I've ever seen something like that. I was thinking of something different.
That or anything from Devil Artemis. Devil Artemis, like he's known on YouTube for doing like Perfect Cell versus videos, and like he just
Perfect Cell is the best villain ever made. I'm sorry.
what?
Perfect Cell is the best anime villain ever made. I'm sorry.
No. I completely agree. He's overpowered as hell.
Dude waited 6 days to fight catch a fade with people. Go train, I'll be here to fight you. And then he whooped all of them. Man's a savage. How strong he was? It was stated that his Kamehameha could destroy the entire solar system if he wanted to.
It's so true. It's true. Perfect Cell was had all this power, but still got whooped by a one-handed half Saiyan.
Well, he was winning until Vegeta hit him with the key blast. Technically, Vegeta didn't do nothing. They would have lost.
Didn't Vegeta also get backhanded by Broly?
Yeah. I mean, Broly's OP.
Trunks became Princess Trunks with Broly.
Oh, I got a question.
Yes.
Do any of you remember when we talked about anime before what the first anime ever was? Does anybody remember?
No.
Sir Meliodas, do you remember?
The first anime
Yeah.
was it Astro Boy?
Yep. Astro Boy back in the 60s. That was the first ever anime. And which is funny because I was at FYE about
I got
a week or two
I got a
ago.
membership pass there.
Huh?
I got the membership pass there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So I was at FYE and I saw the complete series of Astro Boy and I showed my dad because he actually watched it when it first came out. And we talked about buying it. We didn't, but it was the one that started it all. And I think it's really cool. And Astro Boy, it has to be iconic. You have to consider that iconic because it was the first one.
But see, Gundam though.
Giant Robo or Big O.
Case closed.
And we talked about Case Closed.
Try
I think
Full Metal.
one that we haven't talked about. Have we talked about
Metal.
Attack on Titan?
The movie. I never watched Attack on Titan.
Yeah, neither have I.
No, Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah,
that's a good
Full
one.
Metal Alchemist, I like that.
Oh, guys, we're missing an obvious one.
What, Dragon Ball?
We talked about Dragon Ball. I'm talking
No, we talked about Dragon
why
Ball.
you
Z.
call
We didn't talk
yourself
about
Sir
Dragon Ball.
Meliodas, 7 Deadly Sins. We haven't talked about that at all.
I mean, I love Seven Deadly Sins, but it hasn't reached the status of iconic yet. I'm sorry.
Okay, you don't think it's reached its status of iconic yet?
It doesn't have that cult following yet.
If anyone has if anyone's iconic from that show, it's one of two people.
It's gonna
honestly.
be
Bon or Escanor.
Yeah, Bon. No, Meliodas, Bon, and Escanor.
No, it's
JoJo, you're not going to win this battle. He named himself after the character. You're not going to win it on him.
But if I had to mellow down to two, I love Escanor. But it would have to be Bon and Meliodas. It'd have to be Bon and Meliodas.
dude. Escanor had one of the best cold opens in anime ever.
She's not heavy. It's my Duran meter. What he said? My sacred treasure.
Sacred treasure Rita, an axe bearing the name of a maiden. A demon like you isn't even worthy of holding such a thing.
Boom! Cut him clean in half.
You call yourself the pinnacle of all races. You can't. Us demons rank above all races. And that is the simp pride. It's like,
He just cleaned him in half like he was nothing.
Like I said, I got to start watching more anime because
dude,
I
Seven
completely
Deadly
lost.
Sins. 7 Deadly Sins is such a
Wait. Holy Sword.
Escanor. Dude, what Devil Artemis did is he changed it into a roast. So what instead of it being like Holy Sword, it was like Holy Roast. Escanor. Team 4-star does it better.
I checked it out.
Anybody have any other anime they want to talk about?
Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, one thing I do want to talk about. It's not a show. It's Studio Ghibli. I want to talk about that because, I mean, you're talking about maybe one of the best animation studios of all time. Actually, probably the best animation studio of all time.
And I would
And
recommend if you liked Ghibli, give Studio Ponoc, PONOC, a chance. They are the new Studio Ghibli. After, unfortunately, they closed. A lot of people that worked on Ghibli now work for Studio Ponoc.
Oh, nice.
And I got a movie that I think a lot of people would enjoy. They like Studio Ghibli. It's called Weathering with You. It is very, very good and it is Studio Ghibli-esque. I really enjoyed it, but I mean, just the movies that they did. I mean, first of all, with Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind and Castle in the Sky, those two were absolutely amazing. I just watched Princess Mononoke about a week ago. That was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Spirited Away, the one that won the Oscar. I mean, what more can you say about that? Won the Oscar.
Right.
Howl's Moving Castle. You have The Cab Returns, Whisper of the Heart. I mean, so many to name. And Studio Ghibli, just the career that it's had, it's just amazing what they've done. It really is. Is that all we have?
Wait, hold on. I got something. If we were talking about anime villains, which we're not, but if we were, Perfect Cell is the GOAT. That's all I got to say.
Okay. Before we go, since Sir Meliodas was not here when we were talking about it, I want to see if he actually did what I asked him to do. Did you take a look at Abandon like I asked you to?
You didn't tell me to look at Abandon.
Yes, I did.
Dude, I forgot.
Do you at least know what it is?
Sounds like a horror game, doesn't it? No, because you don't play horror games.
No, it is, but there's a specific thing about the game that you're not going to understand because you just don't know too much about it. So
Basically, it's Silent Hill.
Is it?
yeah, the rumor going around is that, I mean, people are thinking this is either a Silent Hill game or done by Hideo Kojima because of everything that's been going on with this game, and that's basically what's going on with it. And if you did the research, I wanted to get your opinion on it, but what can you do?
Next podcast, I'll talk about it.
Okay, which you're hosting, so, and we're going to be back next week since we missed the previous week, so we're going to go back-to-back weeks. And Sir Meliodas is going to be talking about iconic vehicles and weapons. Unless he decides to change that, we will let you guys know on that. And then you get to know what we're going to be doing the next time I host. It's going to be something that I think we're going to enjoy. We're going to get you guys involved in this. This is going to be something that's going to take some work, but I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. Okay.
But before
That's all
we
I
go,
got to say. Before
we go,
okay.
check out that Dead Space remake trailer.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It is Dead Space
Isaac
is
Clarke
back with
is
a vengeance.
back. Isaac Clarke is
Yes.
All right, JoJo, sign us off.
All right, this has been another episode of the Off Hunting Podcast. I'm your boy, JoJo.
It's your boy Diggs Gaming.
KB hunting.
Hey, you know it's your boy,
Sir Meliodas.
We'll see you guys next time.
Have a great week.
Peace.